What's good? Welcome to First String Podcast. On today's episode of First String Podcast, we will discuss the NFC East. That's Commanders, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, and we're doing all that with our guy Matt Essig, Matty Ice from the Chris Russell Show. That guy who drops all the great sound bites and everything like that. We got him. Sid is here. He's ready. Lady A's coming in hot, and Al have the day off, but we still gonna do what we do. We're gonna get it going. I hope y'all ready. Let's go.
Yeah.
First String Podcast. Yeah. Too Danny. Dre on the beat. Yeah. What's your favorite squad? Tell me who you going with. First String Podcast, yeah, we keep it lit. We got the latest updates, we don't pump fake. Like, comment, share, we don't care, feel free to hate. We got great guests join us, you should chime in. Trudini on the intro for the time being. Lady A, representing Washington. Pick Washington, everything Washington. Aunt Mo coming out of Dallas, you know the business. Said, them Georgia Bulldogs ain't quitting. Yeah, if you ain't watching sports, you ain't living. About to get my mattress Mac on, about to bet $1 million. Bet $1 million. Let's talk about it. We all grown and cool, we can talk about it. Before we hit the news, we gon' talk about it. Oh, you wanna bet? Let's pop a bottle about it.
Welcome back to First String Podcast. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to First String Podcast. Hit the bell to enable alert for new content just like this. The most important part is that you tell a friend to tell a friend about First String Podcast. That way our numbers grow. That way we keep doing things like this today. Now, I got to start off by asking my man Sid a question. First off, Sid, how you doing?
What's up?
So my question to you, Sid, is what happens when HR is late?
Fine.
HR gets fined.
That's right.
But HR makes sure that the fines are divvied up, right?
She's fine, sir. She's still getting fined.
So she getting fined. Okay, HR is getting fined. Lady A's coming in hot. So right now what we do is there are no fines for us. There is a fine for her. So we're going to bring our guests in. Matty Ice, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks you guys for letting me join in. Real excited to get into NFC East talk. It's almost football season. It's great.
It is. We only got a couple of weeks left. And then to be truthful, training camps will be starting here in a couple of days. I think we inside of 10 days before the first teams report. But that's still pretend football. So college football, which is that guy right there, is looking forward to, kicks off first. But before we go too far and get into all of that, let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. Bruce Glass is in the building first, as always. Bruce, what's good? And I don't know what you're doing with the camera, Sid, but okay.
Oh, I'm multitasking, my brother. I'm multitasking.
All right. Do we got our guy John in the building too? John's in the building. He said, Bruce, you got me by 73 minutes early. So you beat him in by a couple of minutes early, 6:06 and 6:17. So you got him, Bruce, and then Don is in the building. Mr.
What's up, Don?
That's right. Dump Truck Don's in the building. We gonna hit him with the question of the month. My guy Droop is in the building. My man's in the intro. Droop made the building. Mike Young is in the building. He said, what's up to everybody? And HR, good evening to y'all, lady. She's late, so we're going to find her. Don't worry about that. We got this. Caps. Go. Caps is in the building. Long time no see. I like what the Caps are doing. I see you sporting your Nationals up there right there. So I really do like Mr. Woods there. I think there's a shirt out that says, we got wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to need that. I'm going to need that shirt. Yeah,
I think it's on the Teespring or Breaking Tea for
Breaking Tea,
all of the 106.7 stuff.
Yes, yeah, I heard about that today. So still going to the Commanders, and I got you. Okay, all right. Yes, sir. Nats are losing. They're losing 4-0 right now. Okay, well they're playing the Mets, and I think that they are about to be sellers. So. That's where we are with the Nats, and I think the team that's ahead of them for the wild card is the Atlanta Braves, and I think they got us by like 7 or 10 games or something like that. And the Braves aren't catching the Phillies, but the Braves are always good. We'll talk about that later. But say it.
For sure.
So now that I've calmed down, Lady A is still not here. We're gonna double her fine now because she's 10 minutes late.
Man.
So let's get right into it. Okay, we're gonna start off with. All right, so we got questions that need to be answered, and your first question that you need to answer here, Matty Ice, is the question of the month. All right, so we want you to do is name 4 athletes that you wish you could have seen in their prime. Now, you don't have to go 4 different sports, but if you choose to select athletes from the same sports, you can only do that once. So 2 athletes from the same sport. Let's get your 4 athletes that you wish you could have seen in their prime.
All right, so I thought about this a little bit, and when I think about like the greatest of all time, I think of finesse as like one of the biggest aspects. If you are a player that is able to just run laps around everyone, that's the kind of entertainment, that's the kind of excitement that I want to see if I'm going to see a GOAT. That being said, I have been very, very lucky. I have had the opportunity to see Jordan when he was in DC. I was able to see Venus and Serena when they were at a DC event. I was a swimmer, and I actually got to compete against my 2 favorite athletes, and one of them being Phelps, another one being Matt Greaves, who's a backstroker. If you know swimmers, you might know him. Yeah. You know, cool. So for me, it was like, all right, a lot of the, all right, A, B, C, those were a little bit more difficult because I kind of already seen them. That being said, number 1 has to be Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar. Okay.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the sky hook, the ability for him to make space, his just dominance. I mean, it's something that we can only see in all of
YouTube
clips. YouTube clips, and it's just not it. I would give anything to be able to be there, actually see his dominance up that high, because that's a thing that we see it. And of course, YouTube clips, they're all from down, and you see he's up high. We forget, especially when we're constantly watching basketball, everyone on that court is at least like 6'6". So him getting half a foot over guys, him getting half a foot plus over guys and being able to just arc it, it's insane. And I think that would be one of those performances you just kind of have to see live to really get the full scope of it. Moving on, again with finesse, Muhammad Ali.
Ooh.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, fast feet, fast hands. I mean, I'm not a fighter. I'm not really big into boxing. It's never been my primary sport. That being said, I mean, you can't disregard just the insanity that he puts out he put out every time he fought.
Right.
Going on next, and this is partially because I've seen the clips, and yes, but with me being a Caps fan, I got to see Gretzky. I would love to see the great one, with us now having the great 8 and his resurgence in trying to get the all-time goal scorer in the NHL. I mean, to see where it came from and to see it live and see, just because from everything that I've seen, Wayne Gretzky was a combination of both Ovechkin and kind of your Sidney Crosby, that he had the skating skills to be able to really just dice people up, but also had this powerful shot that he could shoot from anywhere. I mean, it was just domination. Love to see it. And for my last one, and this is, like I said, I was a swimmer. This is a personal one. I was a pretty good swimmer, and I would love to be able to go and see Mark Spitz when he went 7 for 7 world records and gold medals at the Olympics. Partially because, I mean, that was a record that was not even close to being touched until Michael Phelps came along and did that at the Beijing Olympics. But also because at that time, they didn't have the best equipment. He didn't even use goggles. I may or may not have actually beaten some of his times when I was competing. So being able to go back, and if I was in my peak, being like, all right, that was good. Now, can we get in the water and I can get that record real quick?
Let's get this right. Yeah. Let me go and get that real fast. Right. Let me get that real fast. Okay. Sid, go ahead and inform Lady A that her fine has been doubled and it's now tripled because how late she is. Hello.
Hello.
My fan is on. I can't pause.
You can't pause it? It's okay. It's okay because she knows that.
How
are you, Lady A?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
The traffic between rooms must have been terrible today.
I'm not at home, but hello, Maddie. Thank
Hi,
you.
Lady A.
Maddie Ice.
She disclosed location today. She'll disclose location, but that fine will be coming. Do not ignore the FedEx man that will arrive at your door. He's not there to pick up them to us. He's there to issue your fine.
He's not there to drop on the wine either.
Nope, he ain't there for no wine. So Go Cap said she wanted to see Ovi in his prime.
Yeah.
And she wanted to see Strasburg as well. So don't forget to continue to put in there what you guys wanted or who you wanted to see in their prime. Now, listen, let's get to the topic of the day, the NFC East. And yes, Go Caps, we do know that the Commanders, today's their 92nd birthday, right? Of being in the NFL or something like that. So they gave us a treat, and they're bringing back the gold pants. They're not bringing gold pants with a stripe because none of their pants have stripe, but they're bringing back the gold pants. We saw it. It looks really good with the burgundy top, and I think that's the way they probably will wear it this year is with the burgundy top. I don't think it's going to go well with the white top, and I definitely don't think it's going to go well at all with the black one. So maybe we only see those at home or on the road. Who knows what they're doing, but they are bringing back the gold pants. So that is a bit of news, which should have been in really rep your team. That should have been rep your squad news, but Go Caps is spitting it out right now. The NFC East, how is this thing going to shake out? That's my question. Is you have four teams, two which are clearly behind the other two, and that will be the Commanders and the New York Giants. And then you have two dominant teams. One is trying to get a bounce back, trying to have a bounce back year in the Philadelphia Eagles. They picked up Saquon in the offseason. And then you have the Dallas Cowboys, who literally have to find a way to sign 3 stars. And if they start with the quarterback, as Ant says, they're going to make a mistake. They probably need to start with the wide receiver. And I'm going to agree with Ant right now. But my first question to you all is, how do you see this division shaking out? Maybe that should be the last question. Yeah, we're gonna make that the last question, okay? The first question to you guys in the chat and to everyone on the panel is this. Name a player that cannot be lost for each of these teams. All right. This player is a key cog for the team to have a successful season. Name a player that cannot be lost this season for each team. Sid, you ready?
Oh, you gonna start me as y'all division?
No, we're gonna go with Matty Ice. I just wanted to see if you was ready.
I'm about to say you gonna start me. This y'all division. I mean, I got some stuff, but I figured y'all do y'all division and let me bring at the end, so I can put my change out there.
Okay.
So I'm obviously in DC. I'll start in DC. I think it's a very easy pick for who can't be lost in Washington, and that's Jaden Daniels. A lot of this team's progression and a lot of the future moves that are going to happen with this organization stem around finding out if Jaden Daniels is that guy and if this organization is currently built to make it work. Of course, the quarterbacks. A big portion of that, though, is with Jaden Daniels' frame. There has been, obviously, there isn't proof, but there's concern about injuries with him. And that's why that's a real big combination for him needing to step up and be that guy and not get hurt. Who other than quarterback do I think can't be lost? I really think that Brian Robinson. I think Brian Robinson making sure that the run game, because that's going to be another huge part with making sure Jaden Daniels isn't getting eaten alive, is that we have that strong running game. And with Brian Robinson still being RB1, he would be the player that it's like, yeah, we can't afford to really lose that because that's such a dominant part of how to build the game. And because we don't, and that's a big part, especially on offense, we don't know what we are. We knew everything. We don't know what we are. So it's going to be a state where we need as much time to figure that out, both as fans and as the team.
Hold on. Before we go to another team, Lady A, who do you see that Washington can't lose?
So I like those two selections, but I really feel like it's Terry.
You feel like it's Terry?
You
Okay.
cannot lose Terry. Like that is a must. You got to keep him. There quite often we look for him for the big plays. We look right to Terry for the big plays, and he makes them. Like he'll it's like we're down. We need a touchdown really fast, and what happens? They throw to Terry. He got it. So we cannot lose Terry, and I feel like that is one of our key players.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you, you guys are wrong. Say it. Do you know why they're wrong? Because we've had Doc on here. You have Doc in studio with you, Matty Ice, right? And Doc tells you the most important position is played by 5 guys, right? That offensive line. Have you guys not learned from the past? The most important player for us is the center. The center position. Have we not over the last couple of years been without a center and we couldn't do anything? It messes up the whole line. It's the captain of the offensive line. So Bruce, there's your answer.
I will tell you I'm right, you're wrong.
It's the center. We cannot lose our center.
No.
And this year, okay. All right.
Doc will tell you that I'm right, you're wrong. You
Doc
know he will.
Tell you that. No, he's not going to say that. He's going to say what you were working with is fluff.
He will.
Well,
He's
regardless,
I'm right.
Doc's going to say,
wrong.
who cares? Why are we thinking about people getting hurt? That's loser talk.
That is loser talk.
He will say that as well.
He is going to say that. He's going to be like, what are you talking about, Pick? Yep. Okay. All right. So what's the next team you want to to take us to, Matty Ice?
Whoa. Easy money.
Oh, say it, my bad. Okay. Let me get your
I know the last of stuff. You ain't just go.
There you go. Tell me.
I'm gonna agree with this team. With all the changes that happened last year, I agree with what Matty Ice said about Jaden Daniels. New team, offensive line still a little shaky. So the key is going to be whether or not the offensive line can keep him upright, giving him a chance. A la Richardson, we saw what happened to Richardson last year. He realized he's not as big as he thought he was. So Jaden Daniels cannot take those shots, similar shots to what Richardson took last year. So I'm going to have to agree with Matt Ice. I think Daniels is going to be the key cog for this team. For this year. I think he's the key cog.
Okay. All right, Matty Ice. Where we going now? What team?
Let's go to New York, just because that's next on my list.
Okay.
So for the can't lose, I have Dexter Lawrence.
Yes.
It's just, yeah. I mean, the Giants have holes.
Everything starts
everywhere.
With their defense from him.
But that's the big issue, and especially with the current state of the Giants. They're currently trying to figure out offense. You don't know what they're going to actually be able to do because their offensive line is shaky at best.
Worse than ours.
So they need defense, especially they need Dexter Lawrence leading that defense, being there, actually making sure they get stops and continue bringing the ball back. I think that without him, that defense falls apart, and I think the team is not going to be able to focus.
Yeah. Lady A, it sounds like you agree with Matty Ice.
I was actually shocked that he said that. I was like, he took my person, but he's by far the best player on that team. I'm just going to put it out there. The Giants are known to get beat up. Like, I'm so sorry for Giants fans, but that's what they're known to do. And then I even had some stats pulled up. He registered for 4.5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 21 quarterback hits. I mean, come on, this is on the Giants, right? This is on he's on the Giants team. So they cannot afford to lose him because they played awful. Imagine if they didn't have him. I mean, let's be real. So I'm with them.
Well, I'm actually going to say.
Look,
go ahead.
Did you see what he put?
Oh,
I am trying to find the house. Okay, John, I'm trying to find it. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, listen. I actually was going to go with Dexter Lawrence. So all three of us were going to be in agreement. But my backup guy is Isaiah Simmons. He's a joker for them. Isaiah Simmons, he can move from linebacker to weak safety, strong safety, to slot corner. He is an outstanding wild card player. I was upset that the Giants had picked him up from the Cardinals because we were looking at him in the draft, and Fred Smoot was raving about him. So Isaiah Simmons is who I'm going to go with because all three of us, I don't want us to have the same answer. So Isaiah Simmons, but Dexter Lawrence is definitely number one for the Giants and being built off of that defense. Sid, what you got?
I'm going to disagree with y'all.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and throw it out there for you right now. The most important person with this team right now, Andrew Thomas, right tackle. Because if Daniel Jones can't stand there and throw the ball, the season's over. Season's over. Now, different from what y'all was saying about the defense actually played well last year. They played a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
They played a lot of minutes, especially after they all got healthy. Ojulari, what's the boy name that came from Baylor? I'm sorry, I can't think of his name right now. Anyway, he played on the opposite side. Once those two start crashing the pocket like they were supposed to in that defense, then
Are you talking about Thibodeau? He came from Oregon.
Thibodeau. He played at Oregon as well, because he transferred.
Okay. And he's only an all-star when he played against Washington. Other than that, during the regular season, he's a non-factor.
But the thing was that when Thomas got hurt last year at right tackle, it seemed like it was a free-for-all for the offensive line because they didn't have anybody rock there who was holding the point. So at this point now, they're trying to figure out who they got to double on this side or who they got to double on this side, so they let somebody free at all times. So that's the most important card for this team right here. It's going to be Andrew Thomas.
Okay, we got to pick it up a little bit because we're going to lose Maddie here in a little bit. So next on your list, Maddie, is who?
Eagles. Eagles are obviously hurt with the loss of why am I totally blanking on his name? Podcaster. Now he's no longer center. Kelsey. Thank you. It's been that long. He's left for so long. With Jason Kelsey gone, their line is hurt, and they need to make sure that their leaders that are currently still there are healthy and able to function. So I'm going with Nakobe Dean as the number one player that needs to be healthy all season. Without his ability on linebacker, I feel like they are just going to get eaten alive. And with questions regarding the mobility, especially later in the season with Jalen Hurts, not having protection is going to just rock them.
Yeah.
Okay, Say's gonna like the fact that you chose Nakobe Dean. Lady A, who you got?
So actually I agree. But with that said, it kind of filters over into the person I was mentioning is Jalen. The reason why we need these people is because we need to protect him. He cannot go down. We literally saw this man a couple of years ago in the Super Bowl trying his hardest to carry the entire team on his back. He is, and it's not just necessarily on the field, but it's also like the morale and everything from the team. Like he gives it his all. So I just feel like, if they lose him, it would definitely be devastating to them.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley. And that's because of the things that you just said is Jalen Hurts has carried this team. And it's going to be awesome to share the load where you don't have to drop back, carry the ball yourself, and take those hits like he did last year. He played hurt a lot last year. So between him and Saquon, if he just hands that ball off, he takes less hits. He can throw the ball to A.J. Brown and Smith and whoever their third wide receiver is. But Saquon is the difference maker there. Sid, who you got for Philly?
Actually, you know what? I had a different answer, but then I was just thinking about something a few minutes ago. It's almost a pick 'em. But the thing that hurts them the most, I think, who if they lose this person this year, is the defensive coordinator. Because last year, the defensive coordinator seemed like he could not figure out how to get this defense to work. And he went into some basic coverages or schemes that they ate up down the last. What they lose 8 games in a row?
Yeah. They went
for the
like
first
7.
time
I think it was like
ever,
the last 7
in a row. That was majority of that was on the offensive coordinator. Offensively, they got major weapons everywhere. even with the loss of Sweat, he left. They brought in Saquon. They got wide receivers. They actually brought in another wide receiver. So they have bodies on that side. They have bodies. Defensive coordinator, if he comes up with the same basic scheme they used last year, they're going to get eaten alive. So give me the defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator. Okay, so that leaves the Dallas
I didn't know we
Cowboys
were
as
doing
last.
coaches.
Well,
No, it just-
Ace,
I
said
think-
it just dawned on
I
me.
got
because I remember
I got you.
them losing those 8 games down the stretch, and it seemed like no matter what he did, he never changed the defensive line scheme they were doing. He was like, okay, we're going to run this front four. We might pull somebody in here. And they was like, okay, we like this. Pink.
All right, okay.
Which is what they did to him for the rest of the year. So that's why he lost his job. And that's why he had a job.
When we can play the style we like against you, you're gonna lose your job.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys, Matty.
All right, Dallas Cowboys. It's got to be Zeke. Ezekiel Elliott is so integral to their entire offense. I did. Ezekiel Elliott is.
Okay.
I feel like I missed something.
No. Zeke.
They
didn't have a running game last year.
He didn't, and that's a problem because they don't really have another option. He is right now kind of their top dog for a running back. He needs to step in, and especially in a year where there's so many players that are proving their point, he needs to be a major part of this team in order for those guys to actually get the paid. Because here's the thing. Dallas Cowboys are in a very interesting situation where they have theoretically the same team that they've been building for the past 3 years. So any of the, we're just still figuring it out, that's out the window. This is the team. It's been the team. They are also about to have to pay a lot of people a lot of money. So the team is a now or bust, and it is going to be bust at the end of this year regardless, because there's no way they're able to keep everyone. So in a lot of senses, the person, this is your team, the person that's most likely going to get hurt is if he's that important that he's your RB1, he's got to stay healthy, because for them, this is Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah. Okay. So the way you explained it, now I see it. But at first I was like, see, he didn't
barely touch
New England. Right. So you might as well say he had a year off to recover. He didn't do too much in New England. Okay, Lady A, who you got?
Tyler Smith. This man allowed 1 sack. Like, let's be real. I don't care who the quarterback is. You need Tyler Smith on that line. So, hands down, that's who I feel. And like, that's all I have to say about that. I just don't think that there's any other way to put it. He allowed 1 sack.
Well, we heard about Bootgate today. Ooh, shoot. I'm just going to leave that alone for right now. I'm actually going to say it's CD Lamb. I'm actually going to say it's CD Lamb because I don't think the rest of their wide receiver core, I think they still did. They keep Brandon Cooks. He's okay, but he is not a number one. CD is clearly a number one, and the chemistry that CD and Dak had all the way up until the playoffs last year was unbelievable, right? Mm-hmm. So if they lose CD, Dak's not going to do anything, and Micah's got to do whatever he has to do on the defensive side of the ball. But I'm going with CD Lamb. Say it. Who you got?
I agree.
All right. Okay. So there we go.
No, nobody else. They're gonna double Brandon Cooks. Nobody else scares you.
Yeah. And CD works all 3 levels of the field and going across the middle as well. So I'm going with CD Lamb. Mm-hmm. All right. So we just said who we can't afford to lose, right? So the next one was who has a breakout in the NFC East. Who is the breakout player for each team in the NFC East? We'll go through this fast so we can get Maddie out. All right, Maddie, where are you going?
We'll start back at the top. Commanders. I think it's got to be Dotson. I think this season with the offensive talent, Dotson has to actually come into his own and be a regular target. I think the fact that there are other options now besides him should light a fire under his butt. In a lot of ways, he should actually have, hopefully, a breakout season. I would also argue that if, he isn't entirely necessary if we manage to get Luke McCaffrey to really be kicking butt and all that. Like, he is a benefit if he is the breakout season, but we need a wide receiver. I just think that it's going to be Dotson's year because he's got a lot to prove.
Okay, Lady A.
I feel like it's Jaden. He has to do something.
So you went quarterback can't get hurt and quarterback got a breakout
No, I didn't
season.
say any as far as, I mean, he can't get hurt, correct. But my person wasn't the quarterback, remember?
Okay, that's
So,
right. Okay.
But I really feel like he has to have a breakout season. It's so much riding on this in reference to the organization. It's not just a personal thing for him. It's the entire organization.
Mhm.
You have to keep in mind that, yeah, you're number 2 pick. So already that's going to be pressure. But, you know, you got a vet right behind you that I'm sure he would gladly take your place. Okay,
Mhm.
so you have someone behind you that will gladly take your place. But on top of that, when it comes to the organization and the current people that they have in play, they all need this to work from
Absolutely.
GM on down. So
Absolutely. Okay. So with me, I'm actually going to go to a player that everyone was high on last year, but they didn't have the season that we expected. I'm going to go Emmanuel Forbes. Emmanuel Forbes, actually, I'm going to go 2. Okay. So give me Benjamin St. Juice or Emmanuel Forbes. We need a shutdown corner to take away half of the field, a person that we can put on whoever's number 1 wide receiver and know that person's canceled out of the game. Right. We need that. So give me one of the 2 corners, Emmanuel Forbes or Benjamin St. Juice. One of them needs to stamp up and say, hey, you're going to respect me. I'm going to take this half of the field away. And that's what we're going to do. Say it. Who you got?
Give me Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is a reliable tight end, great hands. He's going to be Jaden Daniels' best friend because that's what he did in college. If he could find a tight end, he will throw the ball. Zach Ertz should have big numbers this year. If he runs, and then I forgot who y'all offensive coordinator was. Never mind. I still believe Zach Ertz is the most important player, the breakout player for this team. He should be. I mean, like I said, I had to go back and remember who your offensive coordinator is.
Okay.
I'm saying
Sid,
Zach Ertz should be the breakout player for this year.
Read that comment for us, Sid.
Rosemary Jackson is our breakout player, University of Georgia. Go Dogs. He's going to leapfrog down and take over. Go Dogs. That's right.
And listen, first off, it's not hard to leapfrog down. The only thing you got to do is have 3 catches for the season, and you just leapfrog down.
Come on, Pig.
No, my Diami hate has started. That was last year. That was last year. My Diami hate has started.
You keep flip-flopping every other year. Every other year is the Diami.
I loved him. I gave him all the love for 1 year, and it didn't pan out.
You gave him all the hate, then you gave him all the love, and now it's back to hate.
Now, Rosemary, he will catch the ball. He will go across the middle. It's just whether or not they're willing to give him a chance. He broke his leg in his first year at Georgia, but he should be. He's one of those wide receivers. Yeah.
Chances are not given; they're earned in practice. And you do something special, you get a rep. You do something more special, you get another rep. You get more and more reps, and then they put it. Say, let's see if we can get it in the game. And from what I've seen from rookie minicamp, this dude has been making plays. So he should get a chance. Okay, where are we going next, Maddie?
All right, Giants. Breakout player, it's got to be Malik Neighbors. With this being, yes. I mean, with Hard Knocks. Do I need to say more? They have openly said that their focus this year is trying to figure out if Jaden Daniels is the guy. If he is, he's got to throw to a guy. Who else than their first-round draft pick who is a insane offensive weapon?
Yep, absolutely. Lady A.
Who said they needed Saquon? Who said that?
No, I said Saquon. Philly needs Saquon.
You said Philly needs Saquon?
I said Philly needs Saquon,
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm over here coughing. So I feel like, hold on, give me a second. Because I try to do something different, but Maddie keeps taking my people.
Listen, Lady A writes her notes on Facebook. She wonders why everyone on has Facebook. All of her people. She puts her notes on Facebook. This is for First Street Podcast.
They're not on Facebook. Let me tell you, Maddie, they always cheat off my paper, and I feel like they slipped you the answers. Well, I guess I'll just say ditto because I felt strong and secure in what I was going to say, and Maddie said it.
Okay. Well, for me, with the New York Giants, the one thing that they're talking about right now is establishing an offensive line. So this was actually like my third option for the Commanders as well. Just establish a Pro Bowl type player on any of the 5 positions on your offensive line. You have to have a starting point where you know, okay, this guy's good for the next 10 years. So one of their offensive linemen has to be a breakout player for the New York Giants this year because it was garbage last year. We all know that Daniel Jones pretty much didn't play last year. He was hurt. They're putting it on him. They're taking it off of Saquon, and so I'm going with their offensive line. If they're going to throw the ball, he has to be able to stand up behind somebody, and you got to put a wall in front of him. Okay, Sid, we see you got your belt.
First of all, Lady A, I don't pick up anybody's paper.
Yes, you do. You cheated off my paper a few times.
Back to back. Just remember that. Back to back.
You cheated off my paper.
Back to back.
She's a dangerous student.
I'm rubbing for you so you can see it. Anyway, my pick. I actually have 2 people. Both of them belong to defense. I believe Brian Burns, who they picked up from Carolina,
oh my God,
and Nolan Smith have to have breakout games this year.
Is that a bulldog?
Burns, he has a brain. That dog that he had in Carolina to the Giants. He has to. Nolan Smith, he got limited playing time last year, but he was always near the quarterback. They already know what he got in Jalen Carter. They already know. He was one of the most double person on the defensive line last year as a rookie. He was double almost more than anybody in the league last year. So, with that being said, it's going to have to be Nakobe Dean, Brian Burns.
Nakobe Dean plays for Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's not what you said before. The first time
I said Brian Burns. I did, didn't I? Okay, with Brian Burns,
right.
I'm still over there.
That works.
Okay.
His favorite NFC East team is.
I wanted Brian Burns to come to Atlanta, so I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay, Maddie, we're going to Philly, right?
I was about to say, yeah, we'll jump in on to Philly. I'm gonna go Quinion Mitchell, cornerback. I think that with the Eagles' strengths, having another really shut down corner for them is going to make them very dangerous. He has the size, he has the athleticism. He was obviously, I think, the first taken cornerback in the draft. Like, he has absolutely the ability to go insane.
The hoodwinkers.
And I mean, I think that he's just going to have a great year this year. He's with a good organization. I mean, unfortunately, said the Eagles didn't follow their normal trajectory and draft Georgia only, but they got a really good guy out of Toledo this year.
Yeah, they did.
What did you say his name was?
Quinion Mitchell.
Quinion Mitchell.
Okay. Quinion Mitchell.
A dog at the corner too. Lady A, who you got?
I actually have a young man from Alabama, Devontae Smith. I really feel like that man needs to step up. Wide receiver. You know, we talked a little bit about who they can't, lose. And I feel like we have so many people on the Eagles that need to step up. And he's one of them. Give Jalen some people to throw to.
Well, hey, I'm going to tell you, I was going to say Devontae Smith too, but then I thought about it. I was like, this dude's been a dog since he's been in the league. He's fast. He's fast. And then you took him and put Brown over there and made him the true number one. And now you have a second cornerback on him. So I was like, I can't say Devontae Smith because he's already a dog. So for me, it's going to be the tight end position. It's going to be the tight end position for the Philadelphia Eagles because you have 2 outstanding wide receivers on the outside. You have a running back in Saquon Barkley that you can hand the ball off to, take some of those hits away. But when they start to double those guys, a quarterback's best friend is always a tight end. So the tight end needs to make a Pro Bowl type year for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. I thought he was on the cusp a couple of years ago, but this year he must strive and wind up being a All-Pro and a Pro Bowler for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I wanted to say it was Goddard, but that's the Cowboys tight end that I'm thinking about. So I can't think of his name, but I know their tight end is really good. Say it. Who you got?
Nah,
I'm already ready.
I'm always ready. I'm gonna have to disagree with him with the Quinton Mitchell, although he's gonna be a great guy. The guy who no one is talking about is one of the last players they drafted last year, Keely Ringo.
And how did I know? How did I know he was going to the University of Georgia?
He did not give up. He did not give up a touchdown last year. He had 2 passes deflected. He had 17 tackles, 4 assists, and he had a sack last year. He did not start till late in the year. He got excellent playing time. Excellent. So that defensive backfield for Philly, monster.
Scary.
Okay, say it. This comment was for you. What did that say?
Back to back, looking for a 3-peat. Hey, they robbed us. I should have went down.
I'm here to stop it. No. He's talking about your 3. He's talking about your 3-peat. He's talking about your back to back. But I'm here to stop that 3-peat.
Oh, you know it's my 3-peat?
It's not gonna happen. Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it out there. It's too early for that. I gotta
lack of the downfall, lack of the center. We covered that earlier, Dump Truck Don. I don't know if your computer's late getting that text in here or whatever. Yeah. But we did that one earlier. So we're finishing up with the Dallas Cowboys, Maddie.
All right, and on this, as soon as I say it, I'm gonna leave because I gotta be honest. I hate talking about the Cowboys. I hate talking positive about the Cowboys. And seeing as they are in such a mess and are currently having issues with their top players complaining about wanting to go on podcasts and not wanting to go to practice and all that, I'm going to go on a limb and say there is no breakout season. The Cowboys fall apart. Good night, everyone.
I got it. All right, thank you, man.
Boy, you got to shoot shots.
Good job.
Said he hated it.
Good job, Maddie.
Maddie, thank you for your time, man. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Enjoyed every moment.
Yes, sir. We'll have Maddie back for sure. Thank you, sir. That was Maddie Ice, and you can catch Maddie on the Team 980 on the Chris Russell show. Amazing job that he does. So, man, make sure you guys tune into that, and you'll get Maddie Ice there. So, Lady A, who do you have for the Cowboys having a breakout season?
I mean, truthfully, I'm kind of with him on that, but to kind of take it's funny you said the tight end for the Eagles. I'm saying the tight end for the Cowboys. He may want to step it up a little bit, and that's Jake Ferguson.
Yep.
I think that there's so much going on that team. It's it's all these different dynamics, and I feel Jake should just go ahead and that's terrible.
Go ahead, read that for me.
Terrible. But I just feel like Jake, could use this opportunity for his own personal growth and just step it out.
John said, I'm about to start charging a personal appearance if you keep playing my flag video.
Well, the way you acting, John, you're going to be on Nucci's front porch with me. Singing.
Well, okay, for the Dallas Cowboys, their breakout star has to be their new defensive coordinator because we stole their old one, and we stole their old one, made him a head coach, and we took his favorite assistant with us and made him our defensive coordinator. So I'm gonna go, their defensive coordinator. That's mine since Sid brought coaches into this. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's realistic. I mean, we got. I mean, it's something that we can't overlook. We already know. We say all the time, coaching matters.
Yep.
I mean, a team doesn't lose eight games down the stretch. Defense is leaking all week long, and you're still running the same defensive scheme. You can't run the same scheme as everybody. It's the NFL. Oh, they're gonna run it again. This is what we're gonna do. What they did last week, which is what Philadelphia did. But what I would say for this one, I would go with Eric Kendricks, because now he's gonna be the starting middle linebacker with old boy who hurt his neck retiring.
Van Der Esch.
So he's gonna have to be the middle linebacker. He's gonna have to come in a new scheme. He's gonna have to call everything. He's gonna have to show up on every game. So I think he's gonna have to be the breakout player on defense.
Okay.
All right. There we go. Okay. That knocks off questions that needs to be answered. It's time to go to everybody's favorite thing in traffic. We're going to go to the roundabout, as my man Ant would say. It makes you slow down and think about things, but it does help with the flow of traffic. So roundabout time, ladies and gentlemen. And as y'all know, it is that quiet period in the NFL, right? But behind that quiet period, we start to find out about suspensions. And we had some suspensions announced yesterday. This is that time of year where you hope that your favorite player didn't pop on a drug test or something like that, or happen to do something that they call domestic violence. And we have a couple of people that did just that, right? So we found out yesterday that ex-Panthers, no, hold on, wait. Nope, wrong thing. Oh, no. Okay, we found out a couple players will be suspended 8 games without pay for being charged with domestic violence, right? And I think the other one was 6 games, right? So my question about this, literally, for the roundabout is this. Man, does this time of year really make you hold your breath and be like, when they start announcing these suspensions, like, you be like, because I know I do, please no commanders, please no commanders, please no commanders, because it was like a time where we always had somebody popping for drugs or gambling, or just whatever, you know. So how do these things make y'all feel when they start to announce these things?
I mean, it makes us nervous. I mean, it always makes us nervous because you never know if it's something like what was the guy's name with the Raiders when he was taking medicine so that his wife could get pregnant,
Oh yeah, okay.
And it was something so simple that he even let them check it, say, look, XYD, check this out, and they said okay, and he took it. And
then it was bad. It was
bad. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't out trying to do something, but it's something so simple like that. So it's hard to tell, but it also could change a portion of your team depending on the person that's being suspended.
Yeah. I will say that the majority of the time it makes me angry. It makes me angry because, I'm opposite of what Seth is speaking of. A lot of these players know, they're conscious of what they're doing. Like when you violate the personal conduct policy, you knowingly do certain things, that you signed a contract, you work for this organization, and if you do XYZ, you're going to get suspended, you're going to get fined, whatever the case may be. It kind of makes me angry because I see so many people literally putting their position, their job in jeopardy. And that makes me angry. Any other job that you have, that if I do this, I'm going to get fired. If I do this, I'm going to be suspended, or, and for people who like drive for a living, that outside of your job, if you get a DUI or something like that, what is that going to do for your day job? That's going to affect it. So it does make me a little upset because it's like you knowingly did these things.
I feel like you're speaking to my soul right now. I feel like you're speaking to my soul right now when you say that, because think about this. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about the two Kansas City Chiefs players that was on the wrong side of the state, right? And on the Missouri side, they're good to smoke weed. On the Kansas side, now they got to be talking to the commissioner. But have y'all noticed this as well? Not a lot was about, illegal, non-illegal marijuana use. There was a PED suspension, and there was a domestic violence suspension, right?
Yeah.
So we haven't even got to the, pop positive part yet. So that's still to come. So don't think we're out of the woods yet. Because it's just that, hey, they may have tested for PEDs and they're holding off because, I mean, they just keep dumping bad news. It makes everyone look at the NFL like, hey, what are you guys doing? You guys can't control your people and things like that. And we already know that that's not the light. I mean,
let's be real though. I mean, when, no shade, but shade at the same time, when you have a vice president of player personnel getting locked up for something.
Yep.
With the Panthers,
Carolina Panthers, Carolina
Panthers, and then you got players doing the same thing. It's like it should start from the top. Like, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and our organization with the commanders, we know like it started from the top. You have to fix that. So, you know, the owners, I think that it's so funny because the NFL as a whole holds these players accountable, but look at what the owners and the coaching staff and people's front offices, look at what they're doing. You
Right.
have to start somewhere, and you're holding the players accountable, but they following suit.
Yeah, John makes two excellent points right here. He says these players can't handle time off. Idle hands is the
Yep.
devil work. But a lot of them
Ezekiel,
actually, absolutely, what they do during this time off is this is where they go on their vacations. This is when they go spend time with their wives before they wind up coming in for the long season, right? So they go on vacations and things like that, and you got the Fourth of July weekend. Plus, they still got to get workouts in because they got to come back in shape. It's not just all
right,
beaches and barbecues. They still
right.
have to come back in shape. They still got to get their workouts in and things like that. But they got to spend time with the family. And then John right here says, plus even the rookies go on their breaks with their signing bonuses in their pockets. Boredom plus cash is dangerous. You're absolutely right. And sometimes even when you're doing the right thing, even when you're a passenger in a vehicle, you still have what happened this week over the Fourth of July weekend. Um, of the drunk driver knocking into your
For
car,
Kyrie. Hmm.
right? For Kyrie, and just like Herm said, man, nothing good happens after midnight, right? Even though the fireworks shows usually pop off right at the beginning of it getting dark and things like that. This happened at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
This happened at 3 a.m. And I ask myself all the time, at 3 a.m., where's Kobe? Kobe's in the gym, right? They're football players, and they're coming from the club, but it's a difference, and I understand that,
I was
but
gonna say that's definitely a difference because
I still understand
they
that
didn't
nothing good
knowingly.
happens after midnight. Yeah,
Right.
exactly, but nothing good happens after midnight, and especially during major weekends like this where even we say, "Hey, be careful. We want to see y'all guys. We want to see everybody back." So, yeah, Bruce
You
just
have to also recognize now. Let's not leave this out. This is a different generation. It's a
mm,
different generation than generations before. This generation is, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do an Instagram from home when you're trying to put likes and you're in the club. Yada yada yada. That's this generation.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I get what you're saying about the 3 a.m. That's just this generation. Should he had a driver driving them back? Maybe probably, but it
well,
wasn't
he
their
did.
fault.
He was a passenger. He was on the passenger side.
I know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
it still wasn't their fault. Is what I'm
It wasn't
saying.
their fault at all.
It
Yeah.
It
wasn't their
wasn't their
fault
fault
at
at
all.
all.
But I'm just
And
saying that this is that generation. This is what the
yeah, but I
generation
mean,
does.
I can't even say their generation because I'm gonna be real with you. When I was in college and we came home, did me and my friends link up to go to a club? Sure did.
Right.
But
Yeah,
going to
well,
a club does not always have to equate to you losing your life. So I feel like that's completely separate than the people who we're speaking of in reference to suspensions, because going to the club and not necessarily doing anything wrong that's against NFL policies is completely different than
yeah,
knowingly taking something that
Right.
is going to cause something, knowingly hitting your girlfriend or your wife or whoever the case may be, and getting a domestic violence charge. These are different.
yeah. This is
I
this
feel
is what
like,
we was talking about earlier. That's what we was talking about earlier. Those two last two posts by Bruce
yeah,
Glass. That's what we were talking about with the performance enhancing and the domestic violence charge. And he's suspended without pay for the first 8 games.
Yeah.
hmm,
Now, what I was
Wow.
referring to,
37,000.
yeah, what I was referring to with the Vikings cornerback is actually he was doing the right thing, but it's after 3 a.m. You know what I mean? And that's what Herm said. He says nothing good happens after midnight because most of the time after midnight, you got to figure these guys are coming out of the club. What happens? Somebody will see them, they snatching a chain, they getting into a fight, shots are going off and things like that. In the case where what Herm was talking about, I think the quarterback has snuck out of the room after bed check to go to a club and got in trouble. So that was my roundabout way of saying, where should you be somewhere that you consider safe, and he was with a couple of friends, probably on the way home or something like that, and he got hit by a drunk driver. Good roundabout today, absolutely good roundabout. So, Lady A,
Yes.
are you ready?
Ready? What am
You
I
got
ready?
the big box, so that must mean it's time to rep your squad.
Oh, rep my squad. I mean,
Yeah. Who you
goodness.
repping today, Lady A?
You said what happened today?
I said, who are you repping today? What squad are
Well,
you
I
repping
mean,
today?
I'm always gonna rep DC Sports.
Okay.
Let's be there. Get there. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Y'all
Okay.
know
Well,
I'm
I'm
not
I'm
ready.
a, I'm a, I'm gonna step into the big
You know I'm
box.
not ready. I have to pull that back up.
Okay, I'm gonna step into the big box today, and we talked about this a little earlier. The Washington Commanders, right there. You see their logo. The Washington Commanders turned 92. They are bringing those gold pants back, or those mustard pants. Um, and the thing about it is this. I think it's a better look. It gives you another uniform option. There's only so much you can do. No, this does not mean that the name is coming back. No, this does not mean that we're going to wind up in DC. Only thing it is it's just giving another little option for the Commanders to endear themselves to the fans, to share a little nostalgia. And it's a really good looking uniform, matched with the dark jersey, the burgundy jersey. So that's the squad I'm repping today. Lady A, it's time to rep your
Okay.
squad.
Thank you for being patient, guys. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So in the Washington D.C. area, we have a DC Sports Hall of Fame. So they've just
Mm-hmm.
announced who's going to be in the DC Sports Hall of Fame. So this is kind of not just like one squad. This is all of the DC squads. And they will do on July 21st at the Nats game. I believe it's the Nats and Reds game. They're going to go ahead and do the formal induction ceremony. But a couple people that you guys will know. We have Ryan Zimmerman of the Washington Nationals, Vicky Bullitt from University of Maryland, Shamik Holdsclaw, the
Shamika whole
Mystic.
squad. Yo.
Mm-hmm. Um, Washington Mystics, Bruce Bradford from H.D. Woodson High School, Charlie Casserly, Washington football team,
Yo.
E.B. Henderson, DC basketball pioneer, Dave Johnson, DC sports broadcaster, Eddie Pope, DC United, Emil Dutch Leonard from the Washington Senators. And just for those who don't know, that was the baseball team before the Nationals.
Yep.
Then you have 1983 to 84 NCAA men's basketball national champion Georgetown University. So that is who is part of class of 2024. Don't play. I didn't go to Suitland, but class of 2024 DC Sports Hall of Fame for induction on July 21st. So if you guys are going to be at the Nationals and Cincinnati Reds game, you will be in for a treat.
There we go. Say it.
I'm gonna roll with these Atlanta Falcons for a hot minute here.
Okay.
I believe they're trying to put pieces in places defensively to make these boys better, to make them compete more. I'm just not on the board with tweeners on the defensive line. That's my personal opinion. People can roll with it however they want. Are they still stepping in the right direction? I'm gonna say yes. I would have personally went a different way with some of these picks, but I mean, we can only wait and see how this works out.
Mm-hmm.
Moving over to the University of Georgia, you have young men, more young men deciding to come in and participate, come in to compete with the best, to be the best, to try to do your best.
Right.
Whereas some of these kids, they don't want to compete. They want to be able to come in and play off the rip, rather than have to compete with somebody and beat somebody out. I think Kirby Smart, giving him the extension they gave him to make them highest paid coach in the college, is much deserved. winning 2 championships, on the verge of a third, second and 27. We'll talk about that another day. And with the college football people chickening out and not putting us in for the third chance to go for a third last year, we're gonna leave it where it's at as well. But they know what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, I can shoot shade because they did the exact opposite once before, where Alabama didn't play an SEC championship, and the team that won the SEC championship beat Alabama, and they still put Alabama in.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
doubt it, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You know, that's all I'm saying about that. But I mean, it's going to be a great year.
Okay.
All right. Well, there we go. That's us. Rep your squad. Okay, so we actually get to hit our last topic right here. Our last checkpoint, if you will. We're gonna go a little open mic for anything that we missed throughout last week. We can go a little open mic right here. So jump right in with what we missed over the last week. Sid, I think you're up.
Yeah, I got one. We missed this last week. Let me go ahead and put this slide up. I got it in right quick. You read it. First in 111-year history, someone, the young man, they cut his name off. The slide, cut his name off the slide, but he won a stage of the Twitter front. This is something we don't really compete in as often. But I was like, wow, you said 111 years. I mean, I'm not talking about the whole thing, a stage. If people understand how many stages they have,
it's a lot of them.
It's the first one someone of color has won in 111 years. That's absolutely
shouts out to him.
And I cut his name off.
He's from Eritrea.
Shout out to him because he pedaled a bike faster than I ever will.
Eritrea.
Biniam Gourmet.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that.
Sounds good to me. We go with that.
You want me to say it? You want me to say it?
No,
he's Eritrean, and his name is Biniam Gourmet.
Okay, you want me to go at it? You want me to say it?
She good. No? She got it.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, good. Okay, because y'all know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hatch it up.
And I want to say he might have won 2. Yeah, he won 2.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
You can't win the second one if you don't win the first one. So congratulations to him. Shouts out to him. One other thing that we missed, or it's literally today. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but the Nats, the Nats have lost. I think they're 7. They've lost 7 out of 10 of their last games. They've fallen behind in the wild card race here. So what we're looking at right now is the Nats probably being sellers. So anybody with like a 1-year contract that they still have under the control, because even though they were playing really good baseball earlier during the year, right here they're taking a bit of a step back, and maybe you can pick up some good pieces to continue to build because Mike Rizzo is doing an excellent job there. James Wood did come up, and we still have some guys down in the farm system that can be coming up this year, next year, things like that. So they're still going to be sneaky good, but they're not ready to compete yet. So let Rizzo keep doing what he's doing and getting this team going in the right direction. The Wiz played last night, and their first round draft pick looked really good. But that's not the big talk of the town. The big talk of the town is what happened versus the Dream Team in a high schooler. Not the Dream Team, but Team USA. A high schooler showed up, and this guy's committed to Duke, and already they're saying he's just doing 1 year in college, and he's definitely going to be a number 1 pick of next year's draft of 2025. What he did versus Team USA yesterday, it is not to be played with. It's not to be played with. This young man, if you guys get a chance to see Duke or have to go back and watch that Team USA warm-up game from yesterday,
right?
Yeah.
Throwing my little petty out there, Lady A.
Hey, he was cooking. He didn't care what NBA superstar was in front of him. He was giving them that business.
As should be.
Give them that business. Lady A, you got anything for the open mic?
No.
I got one more.
Okay.
You
I
got
got one
his.
more. Oh, go ahead and get yours. Go to get yours. I got one
No,
more.
I don't have anything
Oh,
that we forgot. No, because I saw the Tour de France.
I got one more.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
If
Okay.
I'm gonna throw this out there. Many people may not have seen this. I don't know if you seen it. I did, but that girl who gave Tyreek Hill some business, he was guarding her one-on-one.
You got the video?
She was playing. No, I don't have a video.
Oh,
they was doing a one-on-one drill. He was DB. She was wide receiver. Yeah, she gave him the over-under.
Yeah, she gave Tyreek the business. But Tyreek been getting cooked here. He got cooked here by a little boy as well. A little bit earlier. He gave him the shake, sit down, Tyreek, and he took off on him.
Hit him with his own move.
Yeah. My last one. Oh no, I'm glad you didn't, Lady A. I'm glad you didn't. She just made me lose it. Okay. We talked about this earlier in the chat. Dak Prescott was seen in a walking boot. He was going on a fishing trip, said he had been hitting the workouts pretty hard and that he just felt like he needed a little bit of precaution. I'm calling BS right now. I think he may have had a cleanup surgery or something like that. I had to close my eyes because I refuse to look at that chat right now. Thank you, Sid.
So you think that it is a lie?
I think that it's a lie. I do. I think it's a lie. I think something's actually going on with this ankle. It's the one that he broke. He may have some scar tissue in there or something like that they had to come clean up or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I think it was probably bothering him. And
you don't think he's just old?
No, because he's still young compared to what quarterbacks are playing. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is about to be 90.
Aaron Rodgers is not a normal quarterback.
Yeah, he's about to be 90. And then you had Tom Brady. You had Tom Brady before him, right? I mean,
that's not normal either. Those two are not normal.
Dak is in his 30s. Dak is in his 30s, so he's not old yet.
That's not young.
But quarterbacks usually play into their 40s. I don't know. I think there's something there. And the only way to find out is when we get into the season and we can put some hits on them and things like that. And that's the only way we're going to find out. But I think there's something there with Dak.
Does he still do those drills that he do with the hip thing?
Yeah, that's for his glutes. Glutes. All the ladies go crazy about that. All the ladies go crazy about the glutes. I don't know. All right, say it. Did we cover everything?
Yeah, we hear everything today.
We emptied the bag. This time. We did. Lady A, you got anything that you want to say before these fines come to your house?
Before the fines come to my house? No.
Yeah, you got anything, before the fines? Yeah, there is.
No fines said for me.
It was double. Said it was double. All right.
I'm an angel. Both of y'all. I said what I said.
Right. And I didn't do this whole show with no pants on.
Pitt, we don't.
I got shorts on. I got shorts on.
Okay.
I got shorts on.
Okay, Pitt.
Yeah. See, I got shorts on. See. I knew where you was gonna go. All right, there we go. I got to tell you guys something funny as soon as we get out of here. But shouts out to my son, United States Air Force. First String Podcast, second to none. Come get some. Tell him, say it.
Go Dogs.
Raise hell.
Ready for your beats? How about I talk to the person?